Too.
I think we
She's
can use
alive.
them
Do you have your
trust.
bottle on too?
Howdy. Yes. We have 5 people.
So you have Olga and Alex on?
No, that would be 7.
They're asleep.
Okay.
They're asleep? That's a poor excuse. You're starting to sound like Josh and the fishing trip.
Okay, you be quiet. You talk.
Alright guys, let's start. I want you to go back to your childhood. Toys were an inseparable part of our lives when we were just small people. They helped us to stay busy, to be entertained, as well as develop our motor skills. Toys differ all over the world, and while you may remember yourself playing with something historically American, like a teddy bear, a Raggedy Ann, or an American toy truck, I remember myself with a special Russian toy. It's become more than just a toy, it's now a symbol of Russia. It originated in China, migrated to Japan, and then became the traditional toy and craft. It's the Matryoshka doll. I have been a fan of a Matryoshka doll ever since childhood, and I know a lot of people all over the world love them. So after researching sources in both English and Russian, I would like to share the history of it with you. Let's go back to the 11th century in China. Linda Delane, in her article for the Russian Life magazine, explains that the predecessors of the Russian Matryoshka dolls are the Chinese nesting boxes. The idea is that each box is smaller than the previous one, so they fit inside one another. Later, the same concept was used by the Chinese to create their wooden dolls, and similar dolls appeared in Japan, with the face of Fukurokuju, a god of the Japanese mythology in the 1700s. So how did Matryoshka dolls migrate to Russia? Well, no one can tell for sure how they came to Russia, but Olga Guseva in her book Art in the Classroom explains that a Russian monk on the Japanese island of Honshu created the first Matryoshka doll. At that time, a wealthy patron of art, a Russian man named Mamontov, asked a famous artist of those times, Milutin, to create such a set for his private collection. This very set was a part of the Universal Exhibition in Paris, and it became a great success right away because it was a great educational toy for children. It helps to learn sizes as well as develop motor skills, as Yelena Kostomarova, the columnist for Russia Beyond the Headlines, tells us. As the popularity for nesting dolls became more and more widespread, different shops started opening in different parts of Russia. Professor Shostakova of Stavropol University explains 3 main centers of traditional Matryoshka production. The first one is Sergiev Posad. It's a city near Moscow. The first shop was opened there. Matryoshkas from Sergiev Posad have a shawl on their head. They have a small floral pattern on their apron, and they always have something in their hand. It may be a rooster, a cat, a sack of flowers. The second kind is the Semyonov Matryoshka, and this is what I have right here. Semyonov Matryoshkas are produced near the historical city of Nizhny Novgorod, and their distinct features are black hair, head is also covered with a shawl, their apron is covered with huge flowers, and they have arms. The third kind is the Polokhov Maidan Matryoshka, also produced near Nizhny Novgorod, but in a different village. These Polokhov Maidan Matryoshkas may look similar to Semyonov ones, but they are different. Their hair is always curly, their head is covered with a shawl, and even though they have big flowers on their apron as well, they do not have any arms. Nowadays, there are a lot of different kinds of Matryoshkas, and artists produce unique collectible sets, even with American or Russian presidents on them. We learned that Matryoshka dolls became popular all over the world. But why are they called Matryoshkas? Olga Guseva in her book explains that the word Matryoshka is originated from an old Russian name, Matryona, which goes back to the Greek word mater, or mother. So Matryoshka symbolizes fertility, motherhood, and family. Inside of the bigger doll, you find smaller ones until you reach the very last one, a baby Matryoshka about 1/4 of an inch big. Matryoshka is not just a toy, it's also a symbol of appreciation of village life and big family. Dressed in traditional Russian clothes, Matryoshka usually consists of 8 pieces, from the mother to the infant daughter. Winston Churchill once said, "Russia is a riddle wrapped in mystery, inside an enigma." And this is exactly what Matryoshka reminds me of. Within each doll, we find a smaller doll until we reach the very heart of a Matryoshka. With such diverse history, having traveled from China to Japan and finally settling in Russia, Matryoshka doll is truly a symbol of Russia. In the center of the country's multifaceted culture is the appreciation for motherhood and fertility. Matryoshka is not just a toy with 3 traditional regional designs, but it's also a piece of vast Russian soul.
Awesome clap.
Yay!
I wanted to.